What's up, you guys? New video. This time around, we're comparing tech sales, so SDR, BDR, account executive type stuff, to high ticket sales, appointment setter, closer, stuff along those lines. Both two of the best verticals that you can get in within sales, I believe. And in this video, I'm going to try to look at it as objectively as possible. I don't, even though I'm in high ticket sales myself, I do acknowledge the fact that tech sales is better for certain people in certain situations. So I've worked with guys on both sides. I've worked with guys who have come from tech into high ticket and gone from high ticket to tech. And so I'm just going to break it down. I'm going to go through, I think I have about 15 different categories, and I've got the iPad pulled up. So first iPad video. And I'm just going to put everything on a scale, and is it going to be more leaning towards tech or high ticket? So let's get into it, and bear with me here, guys. First iPad video. So let's go. Tech, high ticket sales. Okay. The first one, straight off the bat, is going to be compensation. And for the sake of this first one, compensation, I'm going to talk like first year immediate compensation. As an SDR, you could very well make between 50 and 100K first year straight out of school. As a closer or as a setter, you can also make that. I would say because the barrier to entry is lower in high ticket sales, I'm going to give it to high ticket a little bit here. Probably throw it right there on the scale because you don't need a college degree and it's easier to get hired. And tech is going to take the cake on a later poll, but for the sake of like first year immediate compensation, where can you plug in and just make the most? It's going to be high ticket sales. The next one for me is going to be, it's going to be location, which both of these in 2023 are pretty remote. Some tech jobs will require you to go in office. There are some high ticket sales jobs that require you to go in office. The cool thing about high ticket sales though is you can work with any country or like work with any company from any country, no matter where you are, so long as they're okay with it. So a lot of UK, European, Australian guys are able to work with American companies because they're contracted. So overall, I'm gonna throw the location side of things, though they're both remote, over again to the high ticket side. Let's go reputation, general reputation of the companies, right? Well, high ticket sales, they're not really companies. It's more like offers. It's usually built off of personal brand. Sometimes in the B2B side, they are companies. But if we're going off of like reputation, like, oh, I've heard of that company, I've seen them, I know people who use them. I feel like people are just more familiar with tech. So, I'll throw it like right here for tech. Let's go with responsibilities. Okay. General role responsibilities. One, and let me make this clear, guys. Tech, you're traditionally W-2, one is 1099. What does that mean? You're an employee versus a contractor. There's just different responsibilities that come with each, pros and cons of each. But generally speaking, high ticket sales, and I'm going to put this in correlation to the money that you can earn. High ticket sales, I think, is going to allow you to earn more with doing less because you take your calls, you might have a meeting. Whereas tech, I mean, if you're getting this comfy base salary, they're going to expect more of you, even if you're not necessarily taking calls, right? So I'm going to give this to high ticket over here. Career trajectory. Now this one, guys, I'm going to give it to tech because keyword career, okay? In high ticket sales, it is really a lot of times a transitional thing for a lot of people who want to go and start their own business or who want to make cash as they work on a business in real life or something like that, right? Um, if your goal is to just work up the ladder and go after security and stay somewhere for 10, 15, 20 years, it's going to be tech. And for that, I'm going to throw it pretty far over here on the left. Um, Now, high ticket sales, you can be a closer and then go into like the growth partner model and um, then go into like owning your own offer and helping people scale their offers, and you can make a whole lot of money doing that. But if we're focusing on the word career here, you could be an account executive for 15 years and be making over $500,000 a month. And at that point, that's a pretty lucrative career. So let's go to the next page. Relabel. Hold on. Ticket sales. Okay. Next one is going to be work-life balance. For the most part, both of these offer really good work-life balance. But if we're going down to being W-2 employee versus being a 1099 contractor, I'm going to give it to high ticket sales. Now, again, in correlation to the money you can make, once you are a super high level AE and you're raking in 300, 400, 500K, I mean, there's even AEs who make $1 million a month, or not $1 million a month, $1 million a year. I'd imagine you could have a pretty sweet work-life balance for the money that you make. If we're talking first year, 2 years, 3 years, high ticket sales is like, hey, 5 calls on the calendar today. Let me close them at 25%, 20% because that's what I do. Then I clock out and do whatever else I want to do. Like I did this for a majority of 2022, took 3 to 4 calls a day. I would get $700 commission per close, oftentimes one call close, and I'd close at like 35%. So it was part-time, I was making a full-time income, and also able to work on my own stuff on the side. So immediate work-life balance, high ticket sales, but honestly, I mean, I could even put it more closer towards the middle once you start to rise the ranks in tech. Stability. It's a big one that a lot of guys have questions about. Stability. High ticket sales is notorious for churning reps fast. Sometimes it's due to bad performance. Sometimes it's due to, a flop in the marketing. Sometimes it's due to shutting down offers. I would say for you as an individual rep, if you're in a position where, hey, I've got 3 kids, I've got 2 car payments, I've got a mortgage, I need to at least be making this much a month, tech is going to offer you more stability. Okay, I'm going to even throw it like over here. Now, that being said, with high ticket sales, if I got fired from an offer tomorrow, me personally, I know that today's Wednesday, if I needed to be selling something by next Monday, I could have interviews lined up Thursday, Friday, and I could be starting somewhere on Monday because it's so plug and play. Once you learn the high ticket framework and you make some connections in this space, you can really go and do it anywhere. But for a check that comes in every 2 weeks and it's about the same amount, sometimes more, you're going to want to get into tech. Let's go with management. And management, there's a few different ways I can measure this, right? And it depends if you think management's good or bad. I think in high ticket sales, there is less management breathing down your back because you don't have a boss who has a boss who has a boss who has to meet their quota or whatever, So they both do have management. Like high ticket sales, I've been on sales teams where we have daily meetings and very hands-on management. Every KPI is tracked. This one's a tough one to measure. I'm just going to throw it right in the middle. I think in tech, there's a lot more pressure from management. Whereas high ticket sales, it's like, if you know what you're doing, they don't, in high ticket sales, most of the guys are really self-motivated to go and earn commissions to then go and do whatever they want to do outside of it. So it's a tough one to measure, but Yeah, generally speaking, there's management in both. It just looks different depending which you're in. Let's go here. Benefits. If we're talking traditional benefits, dental, vision, health, stuff like that, you don't get that in high ticket sales. Okay. Tech is going to take the cake on that. Again, if you're in a position where you have family and a lot of expenses and maybe you don't have the best health, get into a tech job. Tech sales is a great path, you know. Opportunities. Actually, let me see. Yeah, opportunities for learning, like valuable skill sets. I'm going to put it just slightly in height on the high ticket sales side because you learn being in high ticket sales, you learn a lot about the overlap between marketing and fulfillment uh, in relation to sales, right? In corporate, W2 tech stuff, it's like you're an SDR. Okay, here's your list. All you do is hammer this list. Or account executive, it's like you're going to take meetings, but you're also going to have to dial. Whereas high ticket sales, it's like a lot of times you're working with the team to refine the systems on a day-to-day basis and just make for an easier sales process. So you can learn a lot in tech as far as like developing as a sales rep, but as far as skills complementary to sales, high ticket sales, and honestly, guys, like I'd even maybe put this just a little bit higher here. High ticket sales is going to give you the ability to learn a lot of those complementary skill sets to where you can then go and offer not just closing, closing as a service, but maybe marketing and closing. And that's, you get into that like growth partner work. Let's see here, next new page. Then we've got, we talked about stability. I got security here. Tech is a little just more secure. What did I do here? Let's go with company future. So if your goal is to get in with a company that is going to go on to be the next big thing, in high ticket sales, oftentimes you're dealing with a lot of people who are bootstrapping, they're building off a brand. It is usually more of like an immediate cash play. Whereas tech, I mean, these people are going for exit value, right? They're raising multiple rounds. They're they're putting investing a lot into this to get that exit valuation. So if your goal is to just get in early with a company that's going to do more than pay you a high yearly salary, I would definitely go with tech on this one. But that being said, you're going to have to pay them a lot of time and really stick around for the long run. Let's go risk reward. Guys, this one's coming over to high ticket sales. Tech it's not that risky because you get a base pay for most people that covers your living expenses and more. But high ticket sales, like I know people that have made 80 grand a month. I know people that made 50 grand a month. I know people that make 30, 20, like year one, year two. Um, so that's the thing with high ticket sales. While you can find yourself jumping between offer to offer, um, there is really good opportunity to earn a high income if you get in at the right place, the right time. So I think that's about all the ones that I had to write out on a scale, but let me do like a quick recap. So tech, high ticket sales. I don't like that. Hold on. Tech versus high ticket sales. Again, W-2, 1099, pros and cons to each of these, right? Tech, I'm going to say just overall security, um, pay is consistent, career trajectory, and yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that for now. High ticket sales, I'm gonna say immediate earnings. I'm gonna say, what did I just do? Flexibility. And I'm going to say, skill stacking. So yeah, guys, both of these really good options. It just depends where you're at, right? A lot of guys that are considering high ticket sales, it's because they've hit a glass ceiling in tech, or they are trying to start the business, or they're trying to do the side thing and they just can't seem to do it because their job, they're stuck from this hour to this hour. Their job isn't cool with them doing anything on the side, and maybe they're burnt out with management. And so high ticket sales, though it's not as black and white, like on if you quit tech and go to high ticket sales, there is no guarantee that you make 10K a month in month one, right? Because it's, for the most part, it's commission only. If you're a closer, if you can get in immediately as a closer, like, you're going to be commission only. You're going to get 10 to 20% commission per closed deal on average. Setters will sometimes get a base pay, but it's not very much. Like, even those jobs are heavily commission only. So overall, guys, two really good options. Just depends where you're at. If you want a free training, I think it's like 41 minutes, A through Z, how to get into high ticket sales, check the link in my bio or in the description below the video. It'll be linked there. And if you want more insight on this stuff and how I can potentially help people go from tech to high ticket, or just see like some of the people that I've helped before, check out the community member interview playlist on my YouTube. Also, check out my Instagram at Serial Sales with 2 S's. And then if you want to follow me on Twitter, which is like my main platform, it's Serial Sales with 1 S. So if you're interested in high ticket sales, you're coming from tech, I assume that's why you're watching this video. I might be able to help you out. Get the free training below, and appreciate you sticking around. Take care.